I don't know. I'd have to evaluate.
So the reason why I bring up Black Mirror is they have an episode. I forget what episode it's called, but basically every single moment that you're experiencing is recorded. Every moment. And what you can do as an individual is that you have access, like, I don't know, I think they carry around something, but you have access and you can play back all of the memories and all of the experiences that you've had. You can also, like, I guess the technology exists, with, if this were a reality, but they would put, you can put that onto like a TV screen and you can show people and like all this stuff.
Interesting.
And yeah, so, if that sort of technology were to exist, I mean, what Black Mirror does, and I think the show in general, is it kind of shows like the benefits and the interesting things that technology could potentially bring, but it also shows how it could all go wrong.
Yeah,
How it
yeah.
could all go wrong. Yeah.
I think
So
I
it was
watched
this one guy.
like the first one where they had like the social media app
Yeah.
overrun or something like that. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, and that's another good point. So maybe wrap up what I was saying previously. So what I was getting at with that is that that's the sort of technology we would need to exist, I think, in order to do that. But there's no way to actually scan someone. But thinking about that and tying it into the one that you're talking about, like the social score, they have that in China. They have that in China.
Really?
Yes. So so you know how we have a credit score? I don't know if it's called the social credit score or it's called the social score or something like that. But people report, like, there's informants that exist around China that inform people, like inform the government
Wow.
about the people that are around them.
I mean,
Yes.
knowing their
And the result of that includes, like, okay, like if you go below a certain score, you can't take a flight or you can't get a loan or you can't, like, there's limitations that happen in the society, like when you go below a certain score, similar to the episode in a way.
Yeah, no, that actually makes a little bit of sense based off of just understanding their government a little bit and the structure of their government. I can see how that can be leveraged to support the government.
Yeah.
But that's interesting.
Do you think that's right?
Ooh.
Would you support a system like that? I'm not saying, the way the Chinese government, I'm just saying that system, yeah.
With a point system for, I'd say maybe let's call it social interactions, a point system for your social interactions, being positive and or negative, gauged by your peers. I would say having a system like that in place would be interesting to see the type of data you collect, but I don't know if we would impose or should impose ramifications on having a score at a certain level, which I'm sure it would, because once you start putting a finite value on a person, things like that start to happen. Like you compared it to a credit score earlier, and I would see that same thing happen. Like you're saying, a credit score, it does lock you out of doing certain things. And this social score would probably do something similar. I'm not sure how it would play out, but we'd probably want to stay away from influencing or affecting someone's opportunity based off of your social score.
Yeah. So you're saying that the system could work, but you wouldn't. Well, I don't want to repeat your words, so correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying that the system could exist.
Yes.
But in terms of the implications, so the implications meaning what this score actually means and what happens in the real world in comparison to the score should be nothing.
Yes, exactly. But that's the thing. Being humans, once you assign a value, I'm now going to take this value and I'm going to say this value to me means X. So, like we've done with, let's go look at restaurants, right? We have this 5-star rating system. We've assigned a value to a restaurant. Before, the restaurant had no value besides my experience or what someone told me their experience was. But now...
And convenience.
And convenience, right? But now we have a rating system. I know some people that don't eat at 1-star places because they have a value someone said it was terrible. It may not have been my experience. It may not be terrible for me. But enough people have said, yeah, that's trash. I'm not going.
Yeah.
It's kind of fits into our nature to follow the herd a little bit. I don't know anybody out here searching for 1-star restaurants.
No. There's a guy on Vice that does 1-star restaurants. Yeah.
Okay,
he's
all
like,
right.
He's like the worst massage parlor in New York City. Like the worst, fast food restaurant in Boston. Like he does, ridiculous 1-star things. So it's
cool.
It's the opposite of the spectrum. Right?
That's exactly what we want.
But there is a huge push. I mean, think about reviews, man. Think about like Google reviews, Yelp. How often, and even to our listeners, like how often do you look at that before you choose to go to a restaurant or not? And I tell you what, I look at it every time. We both use Google Maps, right?
Yeah.
I'm like a level 5. I'm a level 5 local guide on Google Maps.
Hey,
so,
what
level are you,
Chris? I'm still a level 6. I'm waiting, bro.
Okay.
I haven't found any new roads yet. Google's trying to block me.
More reviews, man. More reviews. Yeah.
But hey, I just hit 1.5 million views. Boom, boom.
Nice. On one of your pictures or something, right?
Yeah, no, collectively. But yeah.
Yeah. Cool. No, but to that point, I think like we rely, like think about Amazon reviews, think about like restaurant reviews, like products, services, like businesses, all of that stuff. Like we look at reviews, and McKinsey and Company, which is a very big consulting firm here in the United States, and they do projects for really big companies all over the world. But they did a study, and it was like in Japan, I think, and it was 65% of consumers in our generation rely very much so on reviews. Like they look at reviews before a purchase, like solely, and they make decisions solely on reviews.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. So that goes back to sharing personal experiences. I'm going to share my personal experience as much as I can through a review to let you know, to warn you, or to let you know this place was great, or to let you know, it was all right. And that's how we share personal experience with strangers, because maybe no one I know inside my circle has reached this place. Back in the old days, that's how it was. Only the people that I strictly interact with can tell me about the things around me and influence whether I'm going or not. But yeah, the reviews makes it a lot more accessible for everyone to give it a try. But you also get those few guys that go on there and they just bash a place, and then the reviews look terrible. And then you have the fluffers that just fluff up everything, and then you go for yourself, and it's just like, oh, okay, this is all right.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. You know what I like to do when I'm looking at reviews? I like to do a comparison, right? So let me look at the number of reviews, because in Google, like if something is decent, it's going to be 4 stars or more, usually.
Agreed, yeah.
And so then, okay, like what is it? It's 4 point, I don't know, let's just say 4.7 stars or 4.8 stars, which that's a pretty good review. 4.8 stars.
It's pretty good.
That's solid.
Yeah.
But if it only has 110 reviews, then I'm going to say, I don't know. But if I see a 4.8 and it has, 1,200 reviews, then I'm like, okay, then I'm going to go to this place.
Yeah.
So you almost have to look like, yes, okay, something can be, even a 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, which is, decent, right? But if it has 1,500, 1,600 reviews, it's popular and a lot of people go there. So it may be, your experience may differ. But I think the number of reviews,
Yeah. What I like to try to do sometimes as well, if like 1 or 2 of them will confuse me, then I'll look for like a really high one, and then look for a really low one, and then look for one that's kind of in the middle. I saw the other day. Oh my gosh! I was logged on. I was looking at, what was it? I think it was Steak and Shake. It was Steak and Shake over here, and I looked at the reviews. Apparently, Steak and Shake has trash reviews.
Really?
On Google, and I was like, what's going on? I don't think I've ever had a problem with the Steak and Shake there.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking, and there's a picture, the second photo on there, which means that people have looked at it. A lot of people have looked at it. The second photo is a photo of raw chicken being served And the review is the dude just totally bashing them for giving him raw chicken. And I was like,
My question to that
yikes.
though, do you order chicken at Steak and Shake?
That's true. I don't. You're right.
When would you ever order chicken? Steak and Shake is not a chicken place. It's not like you're going to Chick-fil-A or Zaxby's or I don't know, some other Popeyes, right? Where they serve chicken and then it's like, okay, like chicken. That Steak and Shake is a burger place.
It is.
Right?
It's a burger place.
It's like
I go there and get burgers and shakes, like steak and shake.
I don't know if your parents ever did this. My dad was huge on this. He would tell me, he's like, listen, we're at a seafood place, you're ordering seafood. He would tell me that. He's like, you're not going to get the chicken tenders. No. You're not going to get whatever. We're at a seafood place, you're ordering seafood. We're at a steak place, you're ordering steak. We're at these restaurants.
No, it makes sense.
If the theme of the restaurant is what you go with.
Yeah,
right?
you should. And that's where I kind of like, when I started going out to restaurants by myself and stuff and experimenting with food, I was with ask the waitress, hey, what's the special? What's the great stuff here, And I love doing that. Because then I get to explore the menu without having to worry about thinking what I'm going to eat. I'll say, hey, listen, I don't eat this, this, and this. What is your favorite that doesn't include that? Get like their personal opinion, because majority of the waitresses or waiters, they eat at where they work, or they've seen it and smelt it and they know what's going on. So you got a little insider there, Hook me up.
No, that's true. One of my girlfriend's dad, actually, his name is Joe, and Joe told me, if you want to do that, if you can, like you're trying to get their opinion, try to ask the bartender.
Really? Okay. If there's a bar.
Yes, if there's a bar, yes. I don't remember why he said it, but I remember we were in Arizona for like some trip. We were doing like New Year's in Arizona. It was just this past year. And I went with their family. And I remember I was going to the restroom and I happened to run into the bartender at the restroom. And I was just like, hey man, like my first time here. I think it was actually when he came out to the bar, like, I talked to him. But I was like, hey man, my first time here, like what do you think? And he told me what to get, and I forgot what it was, and I got it. And they're the type of family that really values where they eat and their food. And it's like, when someone gets something good, like they look at it and they're like, quality, that looks so good. And like, they talk about it and like all this stuff. So when I got it, it was like this plate, and everyone, like it had this, we were at, it was like a Mexican restaurant, but it was like this huge churrasco steak, and it had like this pepper that was like carved out, and it had like cheese in it, and it had like this quesadilla on the side, and oh my gosh, it was amazing. And the
smells and the looks.
Yeah, and he's like, how did you know to order that? He's like, did you? And he's like, did you ask the bartender? And I'm like, yes, I did. And he's like, yes,
validated.
Dude, that advice, man, that advice.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if like it's because people will go to the bar and sit at the bar and tell the bartender about the shitty meal.
I think it's because. Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Or maybe he's just watching because he's so bored. He just watches food.
The plates come out.
And he's just sitting there hungry and just food.
Whereas the waiter or waitress is like, pumping stuff out, doing all these different tables. He's just serving drinks. And the bartenders usually serve food. So they're kind of maybe seeing and asking and talking. Yeah, so I can see that.
Yeah. No, I love asking, because if you don't ask, you just go with your comfort, and I do that so often. If I see something on the menu that has like chicken or like pasta, I'm staying safe. I get the macaroni and cheese. That's me, bro. Yeah. I get the macaroni and cheese. But
my man's at Ruth Chris getting macaroni and cheese.
That's what I'm saying. I would do that.
Oh no, Chris!
I'd get the macaroni and cheese and steak, bro. That would be steak. Me. Okay. I throw some steak on the side, of course. Yeah, I'm at Ruth Chris. I'm at a steak place.
Yeah. But, my dad would also tell me this too, which I think is accurate from my experience in terms of restaurants. Mm-hmm. He would say that wherever you're going. Let's say it's a Thai place. Let's say it's a Jamaican place. Let's say it's a Italian place. Let's say it's whatever it is. And he says that if a Mexican place, if you go to the ethnicity of the food that you're going to eat, and you see that ethnicity like in abundance at that restaurant, it's probably good.
I completely agree with that. I completely
yeah.
agree with that. Oh my gosh! You know how many times I've gone to like an Indian place and I've like just seen non-Indian individuals, and I'm just like, okay.
If there's too many, right? If there's too many.
Yeah. Maybe there's one in the
non-Indians,
back
yeah.
that's like got the pot stirring. You know, maybe there's one in the back. I don't know. We'll see. But you know, every now and then you get surprised, right? So, my dad's best friend, his name's Kenny, right? He's Jamaican. He's a Jamaican, right? But he's of Asian descent. So, he owns a bakery. They got all kinds of Jamaican goodies in there, right? But if you were to see this guy without like hearing his voice, his Jamaican accent, and like knowing him at all, you're like, wait, what's this Asian guy doing back there? What's going on? You know what, bro? When I saw a picture of him at my dad's wedding before, like, I even knew who he was, I was like,
Yeah.
that's Uncle Kenny. What
Huh.
where's he come from?
Was he? So is he half? So he's half Jamaican and half Asian. Like,
So he's Asian, but he grew up in Jamaica. So he is like he's Jamaican, right?
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like, born there, grew up his whole life.
Thick
and then-
accent.
Yeah. It's indistinguishable. So like, it's just weird. It's crazy. So you like sometimes you can gauge
Yeah.
by what you see, but every now and then that's the thing, you know. You just,
But then I think
surprised.
that could almost result in like a fusion. Like, imagine if he was in touch with, you know, the Jamaican, you know, his Asian roots, but then also where he was raised, Jamaica. I mean, obviously he's Jamaican and Asian, but that would be super cool which it exists, right? People that are in touch with both of those backgrounds and they make, you know, like fusion. Like,
Of
what sort of
course.
fusion would be, you know, Jamaican and Asian food?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
But-
I don't know.
It'd
Some
be-
type of chicken. I mean, it's always
Yeah.
some type of chicken. It's always some type of chicken.
Hey, I'm with it.